Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video on another dead Walking Dead character, and yes, we are in Season 9 territory now. It took me a while. Today we will be doing a video on the coward himself, Gregory. Former leader of the Hilltop, Gregory is of course male. He is played by the wonderful Xander Berkeley. He is late 50s to early 60s and first appeared in Knots Untie. Before the outbreak, Gregory's life was likely a businessman of some description, and he once visited the Barrington house, so he knew Virginia well. When the outbreak began, Gregory was placed in a safe zone named the Hilltop Colony by FEMA. Eventually they abandoned the safe zone and Gregory took leadership, but soon after the saviors arrived and killed Rory, a 16-year-old boy who was in the community, and they took half of what the farmers produce. Gregory cowardly accepts the offer and never retaliated against them. In Season 6, Gregory meets Rick, gives him a tour of the house. He's rude to Maggie but eventually accepts the offer of supplies in return of Rick's group murdering the saviors. Ethan arrives back from a run and stabs Gregory to try and get Craig back. Gregory is treated by Carson and eventually is in his bed and he's all cushy. In Season 7, Gregory is annoyed when Sasha and Maggie arrive as they don't wipe out the saviors, and he is not happy about this. He's also not happy about Abe and Glenn being buried there either. Gregory hides when the saviors attack at night. Soon Simon arrives and emasculates Gregory, which is a great scene, making him kneel. Simon hatches a plan and a new deal with Gregory, and Gregory tries to give up Maggie and Sasha, but they'd already moved because Jesus hid them in a different place. Simon takes Gregory's scotch as well, which is pretty funny. Maggie sees that he stole the pocket watch from Glenn's grave, and she soon punches him. Gregory tells Maggie not to be too comfortable and forced, and then eventually he's forced to give her an apple by Cal. Gregory denies Rick when he asks to help kill Negan. Simon soon returns and takes Dr. Carson. Gregory doesn't argue much. He tells Simon he fears someone may take his power, and Simon gives him directions to the sanctuary if he needs help. Gregory warns Jesus about trying to take his power. Gregory is with Maggie when she is tending the crops outside the walls. He considers stabbing her but decides against it, and then he's attacked by a walker but she saves him, emasculating him a little bit more. Later he packs his bag and goes with Cal to the sanctuary, but Cal abandons him after he finds out exactly where he's going. In Season 8, and we're just going to stick to chronological order, Gregory talks to Simon about Maggie and then addresses the concern to Negan. Negan insults him and then Rick makes an appearance. He tells his people to stand down, but they don't listen. Simon then pushes him off the ledge in frustration. As the battle is going on, Gregory steals Gabriel's car and runs off to the hilltop. He arrives back and pleads with Maggie to let him in, and she does so. We learn that he stole some little girl's pancakes as well. Gregory then changes his tune, saying the captured saviors can't stay, but Maggie tells him to shut up. Gregory and Maggie talk about having the enemy inside the walls, and Maggie agrees, and later she orders Gregory to be put in the prisoner pen, and this happens. Gregory sits in the cage with the others and later watches Dean die. Later, Maggie tells Gregory and the rest of the prisoners that they have fewer rations for them, and that they may have escort time around the community. Soon, Henry arrives with a machine gun, asking who killed his brother. After Jared overpowers him, Gregory escapes and runs off to the sanctuary. Simon considers killing Gregory, but he gives a compelling speech, and Simon decides otherwise, but only after putting Gregory on his ass. Later, Gregory is at the mutiny and watches as Gary and a few other mutiny members are shot by a rat DJ and some of Negan's men. He watches Simon and Negan fight, and Dwight gives him battle plans and he escapes to the hilltop. He gives these plans to Maggie, and during the attack he stays in the Barrington house. Between Season 8 and 9, Gregory called for an election and lost to Maggie, holding bitter resentment against her. And finally, in Season 9, Gregory gives a speech at Ken's funeral. He hands a drink to Ken's parents, Tammy and Earl, and gets Tammy very sleepy. He and Earl talk, and Gregory convinces him to attack Maggie. Gregory tells Maggie someone damaged Glenn's grave to lure her into the trap he set up. After Maggie survives Earl's attack, she confronts Gregory. They fight and she overpowers him. Later, she places him on a horse with a noose round his neck. Gregory tells her she's ashamed, and then begs for his life, but it isn't enough. as Maggie gives Daryl the order, and this happens. Gregory is cut down and buried. Gregory was a cowardly character, but a man who tried desperately to keep his power. Gregory was clearly a bad leader, but passionate to remain the leader, as he did build the community to what it became, so you gotta give him at least that credit. The scenes between him and Simon were amazing, too, and honestly my favourite part of Gregory's character, so after Simon went, I wasn't too keen to see Gregory anymore. Gregory's death was overdue, as he was an utter shit, and he had it coming. And his death really showed how much Maggie had changed and how she was working against Rick's rules. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on Gregory. I thought Xander Berkeley was definitely gave it his all in the portrayal of Gregory, but the character itself is pretty Weasley and a bit of a douchebag. But tell me your thoughts, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.